We're live.
Oh,
there we go.
We have this table in between.
At first, the screen looks very dark, but then it isn't.
Oh,
Look, here we are.
we're here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Live. Unless you're watching it on another day, then welcome to that day.
Well, but it was our Monday Live. So.
Yeah, we recorded on Monday.
I'm so blind these days that I can't look over at this thing because I'm like.
It's too close. Do you like our setup? This is nice. This is sitting on a tote beneath us. We're not going to show that part, but we have these oils here and we're ready to talk about them. It's pretty exciting.
Hey, Shannon.
Hello.
Thanks, JC. It is very fancy.
Very fancy. We're very fancy people. Don't pay attention to our unfinished walls back here.
Someday you won't even have to look away because they will be finished.
That'll be good. That'll be a fun day. Hello, everybody.
Heidi's on a walk. Ooh, fancy.
Oh, lucky you. We should do that. We should do a live while walking with our oils.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Mm-hmm.
So it's our Monday class. Now, I think this is our...
Hi, Colleen and Terry
wow,
and Sherry.
look at all these people
the
coming
least
on.
of these, Deb, Patricia, Debbie.
Sweet. Thank you for being here. I think this is our last Monday class that we'll do, at least on a regular basis. When we go into September, we're going to switch to just once a week, and it's going to be on Wednesdays at night because that seems to get more people on it. More people are available typically. So, and it's kind of doing 2 a week is a little, it's hard to maintain that.
Well, we knew we were only doing lives for July and August. I don't think we expected to have so much fun on them though. So
yeah, then maybe we're going to miss it. And we'll be like, well, we should do that again.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
We might come back.
Hi, Catherine.
Yeah, we're glad you're all here.
Good morning.
So today our focus is going to be on oils for cooking and how to cook with essential oils, which is fairly basic when it comes down to it. Just some basic information, but not common knowledge. And we set the class up on here like literally minutes before we started, so I haven't put any links in the description, but there will be some links in the description below if you want to get your own oils, to either get some individual oils or a kit. Either option is great if you're getting started. We do recommend a kit because you get more oils for less money up front, and then you can get more oils as you move forward from there. And is that it?
I don't know.
That's all the boring stuff out of the way up front.
Yeah.
But Megan is an expert on cooking with essential oils. She's been doing it for a while. So
I am definitely an expert.
You're an expert in lots of things.
The Culinary Art Essential Oil School and got my PhD. Just kidding. I'm not an expert, but nope. Yeah, that was a joke. It's Monday morning. I did not sleep much last night. We're doing home projects, and neither one of us slept very much.
We were both a little bit stressed.
I don't even know if it's stress.
Or it's just
it
your
is
brain.
stress, but
your brain won't stop.
And so we are going to be working on building a fireplace this week. And I was thinking about how the design of it, the finishes, and you were thinking about how you're actually going to build it.
Mm-hmm.
So at 3 a.m, we both admitted to each other that we weren't sleeping. So,
but eventually we got there.
I'm a little tired today, but I always seem to get pretty energized by the classes. So
we're using this as a tool for you to wake up.
Yeah. But yeah, I have been cooking with my oils since I got my oils. In fact, my very first class that I ever taught in 2011 at our house, it was on June 8th.
Wow, you remember the day? Because it's the day before your birthday.
Mm-hmm. And I made some peppermint, chocolate thing. I made a dip with oregano oil in it and lavender lemonade.
Whoa.
So I have been cooking with oils for a dozen years.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty fancy.
That is impressive.
Yeah. So our friends came to town that had shared oils with us, and I'm like, hey, while you're here, you should teach a class. And they were like, oh, we'd love to. And because I knew they did that for their business. And then I was like, oh, if you're going to teach a class for me, maybe I should get into this, because we'd been using oils for about 9 or 10 months at that point.
Yeah.
And the rest was history. We did get into it. We did.
For sure.
But and I also made soap for my first class. Do you remember
You
how?
did?
Yeah, I got super into it. I made homemade soap with oils in them.
I don't remember that.
Like I wanted to show you people all the things that you could do with oils. So it was pretty intense, but it was fun.
Well, it was in a house, not in a tent, but it was pretty
That's
awesome.
Mike's favorite joke if I use the word intense.
Uh,
So
okay, so also while we're doing the class today, be paying attention and taking your notes, because for August, remember, we're doing giveaways. A lot of you have won and have received some free oils from us because you answered some trivia questions first and correctly. So pay attention, because we have 3 oils right here that we'll be giving away at the end. So
3 oils you can cook with.
oh yeah.
So cooking with oils is awesome. There's a few reasons why it's awesome. One is that all of the health benefits that you can get from, using essential oils, these plant oils that have so many chemical compounds in them that are so good for us, you can get by putting in your food and adding amazing flavor into your food all the while. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but herbs are not always the freshest, your dried herbs when you buy them in the grocery store. In fact, we have a friend who has a spice blend company, Delicious, that we've shared before, and their spice blends are incredible. But they've told us that some of those blends that are, or those spices that are sitting on the grocery store shelves are literally years old.
What?
And yes, literally.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what Megan and Brett said. Literally years old, and so they don't have a lot of flavor. Because a lot of the flavor on a plant comes from its essential oil. And so when you dry that, you lose a lot of that because the oils are evaporating, with the other moisture in the plant. And then it just keeps going. And so I'm sure you've noticed when you look through your spices in your cabinet that like some of your herbs just look, and your spices look old and gross.
Well, and also if you buy them actually fresh, they don't last very long.
Yes.
So
So
that's
you're
hard
just
too.
like torn, right? And so I still have blends, spices that I use in the cabinet, but and I still buy fresh herbs because of the color a lot of the time, like cilantro and things. It looks nice when you make a homemade salsa. But I also cook with my oils all the time. So we're going to go over some of the basics of that. It's, none of it's like rocket science, but it is really helpful information.
Yeah.
So
it seems like we should maybe address that you can actually use oils internally. That's at least doTERRA's oils.
yes.
We don't recommend doing any of these things we're talking about with other oils because we just don't know what's in those bottles.
There's not a lot of regulation in the essential oil industry. And
Yeah.
so there's actually no governing body making sure when you buy peppermint oil that that's actually peppermint oil in there. So you need companies that are actually doing their own testing and they're providing transparently that information.
Right.
And so doTERRA they test every batch of oils that comes in from the farmers. They also visit those farms. They know what's happening. So there's a lot of testing and regulation that goes on. Safeguards so that you can get therapeutic grade oils. We've also talked about a really, really quick way when you want to know if something can be taken internally from doTERRA is if it has supplement facts on the side.
Yeah.
Another way is if you have the Modern Essentials app, it has a list of oils that can be taken internally. We've talked about that app a lot.
You gonna show them what you have on your desktop of your phone there?
Is it a picture of us?
When
with
you made
the
us
old-
old. It's
yeah,
kind of funny.
I like that. So I think it's right here. You have to, what is that?
Huh?
You might have to pay a little bit more there.
Oh.
No, there's somewhere on here though it tells you what oils you can take internally. So that might just be extra stuff. I think maybe just if you look on there, like you look on basil.
Yeah, it'll tell you the application, and if it's
got a drop.
If it's got a little drop, it means internal.
Yeah. Okay. So those are good things to know. And there are some differences. So if you're pregnant, you might have some oils that you're trying to stay away from at certain points in your pregnancy. Or if, that sort of thing is going on. So those are your safeguards. But if you're pregnant and you are eating cilantro, you can probably use cilantro oil in your cooking because you're not maybe using as much as you might if you were trying to use it medicinally.
Oh, right.
Because
and you should.
It's very diluted.
They're really strong.
Yes, it's very diluted in your cooking, and so you should probably be just fine.
Yeah.
Unless there's things that you're avoiding, so you might want to avoid them in oil form as well.
Yeah. So, and I think most oils you buy at like the grocery store are not gonna. They're not gonna say for internal use.
No.
They're gonna just say.
They will
topical.
say not for internal use,
Yeah.
actually. So that also tells you a little bit about the purity of those oils. When an oil that should be able to be used internally, like lemon, says not for internal use, that means it's probably not just lemon oil.
Right.
Okay, so that's the basics. And Terry, I'm glad that you love Delicious because they're the best spice blends. They've taken a break, but they're going to relaunch. Like I've never had any spice blends like that. Love them so much.
Very good.
Okay, so yeah, when you're cooking with them, they're super diluted. Should be great. We pulled out a bunch of single oils.
A bunch of them.
A bunch of them
That you
like
cook with.
that are spices and herbs and citrus fruits that you might be cooking with.
Fruits?
Citrus fruit.
Yes. Okay.
So, and how much you use actually depends on the oil, because we've talked about this before. Some plants have way more oil on the plant, and some oils are way more potent than others. It's just the way of it. So, for instance, if I'm going to add some oregano oil to a batch of soup, I can put a full drop in. But I learned the hard way that you can't do the same with basil. Basil is way stronger, basil oil, for some reason, and it made my whole soup just taste like basil medicine. So
no, that's a bad thing.
yeah, and so I mean, you are going to be doing a little bit of maybe
testing
on, just like you are if you're testing with your spices, but
always start with a little bit.
Yes, and so usually you can do a drop in your food. Like when I made my oregano dip, it was essentially like, a chip dip with sour cream, and I added some garlic and salt and pepper and a drop of oregano, and that was super good.
That sounds delicious.
It was delicious. And so we're going to talk a little bit about, obviously your taste preferences. So like the other day I was making, and I think I mentioned this on a live, I was making, is this sound okay?
I think so. They're just quiet today.
Yeah.
Everyone's waking up.
I was making beef with broccoli, and it called for fresh ginger, and I love fresh ginger. I love eating it. I love when we go out to sushi. I steal Mike's ginger because he doesn't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have any, and I needed to hurry and get this meal done. Okay, good. Natalie says the sound is fine. And so I grabbed my ginger oil, and I added a drop, and then I tasted it, and I might have added 2 drops because that was enough.
You wanted more.
And I'm also always cooking in bulk because we have so many kids. Okay, so let's actually have a few tips on. So I've said this before, but oils are volatile compounds and have volatile compounds in them. And so some of those medicinally are going to be, those medicinal compounds are going to be damaged by heat. And so by too much heat. And so you want to maybe add them at the end of your cooking. So if I am trying to put something in to medicinally affect our family or for our health, I'm going to add it in at the very end of my cooking. But I didn't know this, but when you actually cook some of them, if you're just doing it for the flavor, it can mellow it out a lot. And so that's something to keep in mind too. If you're
putting it in earlier.
Yeah, let's say you were doing like you're baking a cake, a cinnamon cake or something. Your cinnamon oil is going to mellow as it bakes. And so you might want to use a little bit more than if you're just adding cinnamon to something that's not going to be cooked.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if these are the oils that I have some notes here from, where is
this
is
from Aromatools, actually.
Aromatools.
The same people who make the app that we use.
Yeah, and so they have a list of oils that actually get milder when you cook, such as basil, marjoram, but marjoram is very close to oregano, rosemary, and thyme. And they're really strong, but they mellow out as you cook.
Huh.
But also, if you're going to cook something and then put it in the fridge, oils actually get stronger the longer they sit with your food, like they steep.
Oh.
It's kind of like if you put like jalapenos in something, you eat it right away, it's spicy, but if it sits in the fridge for a couple of days, it gets way spicier, like if you make a homemade salsa. Okay. So if you are baking something ahead and you want to add oils, you might want to add them just before you eat it.
Okay.
So
it doesn't like steep too much. You get
Yes,
too much.
it might get a lot stronger sitting in the fridge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So like if you're gonna have a party and you wanted to make lavender lemonade, which is a fun thing to have at like a little garden party, add the lavender right before instead of like, hours or days before. Okay, so let's talk about the actual measurements. I'm happy that they put these together because I just have kind of learned some of these along the way. But 1 drop of citrus oil is about 1 teaspoon of citrus zest.
Right.
So if the recipe calls for the zest from the whole fruit, you can use 8 to 10 drops of the oil instead.
Whoa.
So obviously a grapefruit is much bigger. It's going to have more zest. So you're probably going to lean towards 14 drops for the whole grapefruit zest. I don't know if recipes ask for grapefruit zest, but
there's tons of do.
Versus a lime, you don't need as much. I do that. That's probably the most common thing I do with my oils in cooking, is use the zest, because zest adds so much flavor to things.
Are you replacing the zest?
Yeah, but so often I have like the lemon juice, but I don't have lemons. And so if I want both the lemon juice and the lemon zest, I just use my lemon oil.
Now that's a good point though, because with the oils, if you're going to replace something, you need to know where the oil comes from on that plant, because you cannot replace lemon juice with lemon oil, right?
Yeah, because it's from a different part of the plant.
Right. So because the oil comes from the rind and the juice comes from the meat. So that helps you understand what you can replace, what you can't, as far as these cooking materials or ingredients. So
okay, so they said for minty oils such as peppermint and spearmint, try substituting 1 drop for 1 teaspoon of dried mint leaves or a tablespoon of fresh mint leaves. I do not think that's accurate.
Okay.
I don't think that's accurate at all, because if I have a cup of hot water and I put a tea bag in it, which probably has half a teaspoon of dried mint leaves in it, that's nowhere near as minty as half a drop of peppermint. So keep that in mind.
Okay, good point. Well, I think we'll put a link to this, what we're using, in the description below, so you can look at it, because it's great information.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually good information that we're sharing. Can you believe it?
So cinnamon and cassia.
Where are they at?
Cassia and cinnamon's a little.
Oh, did we forget it? Here, I've got one right here.
Yeah, so they're like the same, from the same family.
Look at those. They're so cute.
So often and I've said this before, like when it says like, what does Costco cinnamon say?
Saigon cinnamon or something
like that. That's actually cassia. And cassia has a really good flavor too, but cassia is actually much milder than cinnamon. So, like if you were to substitute ground cinnamon with a drop, you would only do 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon is 1 drop of cinnamon oil, because it's very strong.
Okay.
But cassia is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon oil.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like 3
That's
times as potent cinnamon oil. But I will say that cinnamon oil, so it's very strong, but it's very sweet. Like cassia is not quite as sweet as cinnamon oil is. It's got the cinnamony flavor, but without the sweetness. Like if you have not gotten cinnamon oil, it's amazing.
You're making a big mistake if you haven't gotten it yet.
Everybody should have some. It's so good. We'll be giving this away today.
Yeah. Should we talk about how to measure?
Yeah, well, that fits right into our next one.
Okay.
So first of all, I learned the hard way. If you want to add something to your pot or to your thing, don't put your oil like this, holding it over right into your food, because it is so hard. Sometimes that second drop, like the first drop takes forever, and then the second drop's like, dunk.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, or like, dunk, and you got 3. So add it to something else before, just like a spoon that you're going to stir it in with.
So literally put it on the spoon.
Ooh, Shannon won the cinnamon a few weeks ago, and she's diffusing it now.
Sweet. So there's a vote of approval on cinnamon from Shannon. Thank you.
And so the next, so there's a few ways to do it. Like I said, you put it on a spoon, and if you want to use less than a drop, you put it on a spoon, and then you take a paper towel and you soak up, half of that drop, or sometimes till it's pretty much like gone, but there's still a ton of flavor there because it's like 1/8 of a drop or 1/10 of a drop or something, and then you stir it in. And then another way is a toothpick. This one a lot of people do, and I used to do, but I don't do as much. I feel like the spoon trick is way better. But you could just put a toothpick right in and then stick it in your food.
Well, the toothpick will actually fit through the little orifice. So there's a
Well, it's more like it
reducer,
just like sits right there,
and it gets it on it.
and then you like turn it over. But to me, that's a little bit harder to control.
I like this grapefruit. I want some.
Okay. So then you can just add more as you need.
So always add less.
Yes. When you're
Can't take it
still
out.
trying to figure out the levels. So herbaceous oils like basil, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, cilantro, and dill start with less than a drop.
Oh, okay.
And then floral herbs like lavender, like when you're making a lemonade,
Whoa.
you could use a full drop. It's just that we don't usually typically have floral flavors in our food. And so start small, because even a touch of lavender like is so yummy. There used to be a candy shop in our little town here, and they had a lavender chocolate.
Oh man.
It
That
was a
good.
little what are those? They're not just chocolates. They're
Truffles?
yes, it was a lavender truffle.
Truffle.
It was so incredible. It was one of the best chocolates of my life.
But
ordered
you just had a little hint
just
of
a
lavender.
hint of it, because otherwise it would start to taste like soap or something.
Oh yeah.
But it was incredible.
True story.
Yeah. So for other flavors, a good rule of thumb is 1 drop of oil to like 1 to 2 tablespoons of the spice or herb. And that's the thing that's also great, because you get your containers of spice a lot of times like that big.
Yeah.
And I like flavorful food, and I'm making huge amounts of these foods. Like if I'm going to make a soup, I literally will make like 40 cups of soup when we have like Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
Because I want enough for everybody there, and then I want leftovers.
We need all that.
And so you feel insane when you're like pouring a half a bottle of like your spices in,
Oh right.
because you want so much. So it's really great to have oils that are so concentrated that I can add like 1 to 2 drops instead of insane amounts of spices and herbs.
And spices aren't cheap either. So
No.
I mean,
Yeah, and then they're not always as flavorful, and so
mm,
and so that actually makes them pretty cheap, because I think there's somebody somewhere who's made a chart of how much doTERRA's oils are per drop, and you're usually using 1 drop or less in your cooking. It's like 8 cents or something.
well, yeah, because I don't know if I think we've talked about it before, but one of these 15 milliliter bottles has 250 drops in it. And the smaller bottles have about 85 drops. So all you do is you take the cost of that bottle and divide it. And if you're using a drop or 2 at a time, that gets to be pretty cheap.
How much is lime oil? Like in the low teens.
Yeah, I was going
like,
to say 10 to 15, somewhere in
yeah,
there.
and so you're talking very, very, very cheap per drop, and they last forever. And so
They're going to last longer than your.
they said that you
herbs.
can just, I mean, we've talked about this before. You don't want to keep your oils anywhere hot and sunny. Some people keep their oils in the fridge. Maybe if you just have some oils you have set aside for your cooking oils, you keep them in a little plastic in your fridge. But I don't do that. We just keep them on the wall.
Just out of the sun.
Miss Tuesday, you missed so much. It's been really incredible.
We're pretty much
I'm really
done.
sorry
So we'll
about
see you
that.
later. Bye bye.
Yeah, no.
Just kidding.
So, Mike, do you want to go over our top 10 tips? This is kind of
Ooh.
review, but
Okay, well, so the first one I actually already said.
oh, did
Because
you?
I'm that smart.
Hmm.
I'm that smart because I read it right before we started this class. But make sure that you know the part of the plant that the oil comes from, so that you know what you can actually replace. Because like I said, you cannot replace lemon juice with lemon oil. You can replace lemon zest with lemon oil, because the oil comes from the actual rind or the peel of that thing. So
Well, that's the main
Keep that in
one. I
mind.
can't think of any other oil where that where that
where that would
applies.
come into place. Okay, maybe that's all.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you know.
Well, I don't want you to be too overwhelmed, because I'm just like, well, I have to know. And it's like, I've actually I knew the lemon thing or the citrus oil thing, but I just used oregano, and when it's oregano.
Yeah. So also, we've talked about this again. So Miss Tuesday, you're getting a little review here. This is good. Be careful as far as measuring. Measure onto something, not straight into your food, because depending on the viscosity of the oil, it can come out slowly or it can come out quickly. So use a spoon, a metal spoon preferably, and get your 1 or 2 drops on there, and then just stir it in. Or if you need to reduce the amount, you can reduce off that spoon by soaking it up with a paper towel or a napkin or whatever. Then if you get too much, yeah, just wipe it off or whatever. you wanna do.
Debbie asked about lime oil. All the citrus oils are coming from the rind or the zest of the citrus. So that's a good question.
Okay.
There are a few blends that have like lime leaves in them, but but our lime oils come from the zest.
Yeah. So another thing is start with a little and then add from there. So like most cooking, at least the kind of cooking Megan does, because I'm more of a follow recipe and measure and just do what it says. Megan likes to kind of go and taste it and put a little more in here and there, which is I think probably what most people do that are creative types. I'm not creative, so I don't do that. Anyway, so you put a little bit in, taste, a little bit more, just work your way into it instead of just throwing in a bunch of oil in your food, because it's easy to overdo it. Even with one extra drop, it can be too much.
Yes, it can.
Right?
Like my basil soup.
So it's very so also when cooking with oils, this is good. Avoid using plastic. Use glass or stainless steel for your cooking implements or mixing, because some oils do break down petrochemicals, and you don't want your plastic bowl breaking down and becoming part of your soup. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody wants that.
No. I mean,
maybe some people do.
There are probably somebody out there who does,
I don't want that. You don't want that.
No.
Okay.
But that's just in general, because whenever you're like storing your pasta sauce in a plastic bowl, it gets all orange and weird. So
man, we've already gone over most of this stuff. Make sure to keep your oils out of the heat or light. So don't store your oils right next to your stove or whatever, because it does get pretty warm there. So keep them in a cabinet somewhere. You can refrigerate them if you want to. That's fine. Make sure to put the caps on nice and tight when you're done, so they don't evaporate off. When
that happens.
Yeah, they will evaporate away, because when Megan says they're volatile, it doesn't mean like it's going to explode. It just means that the particles are very light, so they flash off into the air. That's why they're so smelly, just like that. Just like Megan's smelly sometimes. She's very volatile. That got a laugh from the studio audience here. So make sure your caps are on nice and tight. And then also, if you want to add it near the end of your cooking, that's good, because then you don't alter the chemical compounds that are there. But like Megan said, sometimes if you want it to mellow, you do want to put it in earlier so that the oil can sort of be less spicy or less strong over the.
Okay, this is a really good one. I did not read all 10. I guess I missed number 9.
Sweet.
It says, give a subtle hint of herbs to your savory baked goods by creating a spray in a 4-ounce trigger spray bottle. Add a few drops of essential oils, 1/8 cup of olive oil to the spray bottle, and then fill the bottle the rest of the way with distilled water. So you can add this on top of your food and make them taste yummy. That's a really good idea.
Wow.
And also, doTERRA, I guess, figured out that a lot of us were cooking, and we didn't even realize we missed the memo on this, but they have cooking blends that we've ordered.
They're coming. In fact, I thought if they get here by Wednesday, we should do like an unboxing of our package when it gets here.
So they have a
Mexican one
and a Thai one, right?
Yes.
So
sweet. Maybe not sweet. Maybe salty. I don't know.
Savory.
And then also, just this is obvious, but if you're baking with children, then you want to make sure that the child is all like tender and and it's okay, because
oh my gosh, I'm like, what is he talking about?
Sorry, baking with children.
Not baking children.
Yeah, if you're making food with them, keep oils out of reach, because
Terry Taylor said, what about silicone spoons? I wouldn't worry about that too much, because you're using them so quickly and mixing it in. I think that's okay. I think especially the more diluted an oil becomes, the less you need to worry about that breakdown. And I have stored things in plastic containers. I obviously still store acidic foods in plastic containers because I know about the stain. It's going to be more effective, and it's going to be better if anytime you store things in stainless steel or in glass. It's just all around better for us.
Okay, so should we just quickly go through all these oils and what they are, so they know what oils are useful for cooking?
Here, we have a list right here, and you read the list, and I will grab the oil.
Gimme. Here we go. We're going in alphabetical order.
I need some glasses.
Basil
oil. It's an herby.
It smells a lot like basil. Believe it or not. We don't have to say what they smell like.
Basil.
Bergamot
is a citrus fruit. It's a little bit.
What would you say it is?
I think it leans towards lime, but it's not maybe as sweet as lime. So it's really good, though.
Smell it.
It's really good.
Bergamot. So black pepper.
Obvious.
I like this because sometimes the only pepper we have is the kind that you'd like grind or whatever, and it wants a lot, and I'm sitting there like going like forever to get like a tablespoon of black pepper. Just use like a drop of this.
I just went to
man.
smell this black pepper and I'm like, something's off about this. Well, something off is I grabbed black spruce.
Megan.
Black pepper's a really strong oil. I've used it in roasts. I've used like with cooking meats. Really yummy.
Okay, that's a good one. Cardamom.
Cardamom. This one is very yummy.
I'm gonna help you find it. Marjoram, rosemary. Oh, good job.
Cardamom. It's like a sweet,
What is?
exotic. No, so cardamom is I don't know. Somebody tell us what cardamom is. It's a
Smells
seed.
good.
They use it in like Middle Eastern and Indian cooking.
It's a
I'm
plant.
sure.
Cassia, which we already went over.
Yep. Cassia.
Great option if you're either substituting for cinnamon or maybe the recipe calls for cassia.
It is a cheaper oil too.
Cilantro.
Cilantro.
We use that quite regularly,
Yeah.
especially if we don't happen to have some cilantro in the house and we need it. I know, I love it. Makes you want to have a taco.
Mexican food. Are you putting some on?
Yeah, I like how
Okay.
cilantro smells. Hey,
Cardamom is similar to allspice. Okay, Melissa, thank you.
Melissa's got us covered. Cinnamon, we already went over. We're not going to open it because this is unopened. This is actually one we're giving away today for our little, whatever you call it.
I didn't grab it
Trivia.
because I have it over by the diffuser.
Megan's been using them, so there's some of them in the kitchen. Clove.
Clove. I just saw it right here. Obviously, your fall baking, always great for
Ooh,
diffuser.
that's about to come into handy.
Um,
Come in handy.
also smells like sweet pickles.
Yeah, it kind of does. Ooh. Now clove is a strong one
It's a spicy
with
one.
doTERRA, so you got to be careful about that one.
Good for your dental health.
That's true. Coriander. And now are coriander and cilantro somehow related
Yes.
in any way?
The coriander is the seed of the cilantro plant.
Okay, so this is a situation. Well, actually, it's just you
Where's
just.
the coriander. I can't find it. I don't know if I got it.
Did we
out.
not get it out? You didn't get it.
I'm sorry.
Maybe because I
It
didn't.
was like
leave that.
half the oils that we were grabbing.
Yeah, dill. I don't think we got that one either. Fennel is another one you can cook with.
I don't know if we got that one out. Man, we really fell apart here. Oh no, here it is.
Fennel.
Fennel is like very. If you haven't cooked with fennel, it's very close to licorice.
Have you ever cooked with this?
I don't really love the taste of licorice.
This reminds me of after you have your Indian food, they
You got
give
those
you a
little
little handful of seeds
Yes,
and
it's
fennel's
good
in
for
there.
digestion.
It's good for digestion.
I used to work at a restaurant where we made like a creamy pasta with fennel in it, but I haven't cooked with it. I mean, I don't cook with it at home very much.
Anyone cook with fennel out there? Ginger.
Yes, somebody cooks with fennel out there. Ginger.
Oh, someone.
Like I said, I
definitely cooks
used
with it.
that just last week on my beef and broccoli. Yummy, yummy.
It was good.
Canada.
That was Eve. Grapefruit, right there.
Smells so good.
It smells like a grapefruit.
Mhm.
Lavender,
Lavender lemonade,
lavender,
lavender chocolate.
lemon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're going to be using your citrus oils all the time.
lemon.
Fennel is so good in soups and salads. Oh,
Oh, so says the least of these.
okay. I need
Thank
to
you.
look that up.
Oh no, sorry. JT said that.
And least of these said she loves fennel. So,
Sweet. Have we got lemongrass?
I used this fairly recently too in a Thai recipe.
Now, lemongrass is a little stronger to me.
Oh yeah, you want to. That's very strong. In fact, I think the oil smells like Fruit Loops.
It kind of does.
It's really sweet, fruity.
This seems like one you really want to use like sparingly.
Yes, less than a much.
It can
less
really
than a drop.
take over. Lime,
Lime.
marjoram.
Marjoram. Marjoram is similar to oregano, not as strong. Maybe a little bit more herby, but
Mm.
it's good.
I haven't seen a marjoram like spice at the grocery store.
I've seen the plant for sale. You can grow it.
Oh,
like if you
okay.
have a little herb garden.
Sweet. Orange. We don't even have our orange out. Wild
Heidi
orange.
uses. Tim works at an Indian restaurant in the evening, so she
Ooh.
said she seconded what you said.
Okay.
But she said that she uses it a lot in her kitchen.
Really? Okay. Sweet. And then we have oregano, which is one we oftentimes are using.
I love to add oregano to in the fall when I notice there's stuff going around or people are starting to cough, and I don't want other people in the family to cough as well.
Because it's annoying when everyone's
Yeah,
coughing.
I just want to stop something, and so I will make like a big batch of soup, and like that's real brothy, and I will add oregano to it at the very end,
'Cause it's
so
healthy.
that everybody's getting the oregano.
And it tastes good.
Mhm.
Peppermint.
Obviously,
Easy. Peppermint.
this one's not even open.
Uh-oh. Did you get the wrong one over there?
Oh, we said cumin, but we never.
No, cumin
Oh.
is not on this list,
Oh,
actually.
because it was a special.
Oh.
Oh, that smells so good.
Cumin is not...
Immediately smells like black beans.
Hmm.
You
You're
used
right.
to use that. Mike used to make beans and rice all the time. It was like his famous dad,
Black beans and rice.
black beans and rice. But we
Cumin.
stopped making it because Mike got tired of tooting.
Sorry,
You
folks.
still seem to do
Beans
it.
are not my...
Strange.
but less so,
Yeah.
okay?
But
beans
yes,
don't
he would
agree
add the
with me.
cumin oil to
I
that.
love how they taste, but they're not my friend. And then rosemary and thyme.
Rosemary is really great with a roast as well. Mm,
You're right.
I love the smell of rosemary.
Rosemary. That is great.
Miss Tuesday asked, "Do they lose some healing properties when cooked?"
Well, so
Yes, they
we
do.
kind of answered that. If they're heated too much, then they do lose that. So if you're hoping to keep some medicinal value to it, it's better to add it at the end rather than the beginning of the cooking process.
Heidi said she's literally addicted to cumin because she uses it in so many recipes.
You should see someone about that.
I want to hear about these recipes you're using it in. And then thyme. Yummy, yummy, yum. Thyme too, because I always feel like there's not enough. Oh my gosh. I was not trying to make a pun.
Are
But
you
there's never
serious?
enough time.
You were about to say that and not realize
In
how
a
funny it
recipe.
was.
Like when I'm making my stuffing for Thanksgiving and my chicken dishes in the fall, I love fresh thyme. It's really pretty. You know, you're pulling it off its little branches, and those little leaves are really pretty. But it never timey enough for me.
I think because you got to really release those oil sacs. Because
Always, yeah.
so when an oil, especially is on a leaf, it's in these little sacs, which if they're not broken open, you don't really get much of it. So either crushing it or cutting it does that. But obviously, if it's just distilled straight off, then you've got the pure oil, and that's going to give that flavor.
Melissa said, "I wonder if you could make some yummy herb flavored butters for special dinners." That sounds amazing. Yes.
Good
And
thinking.
amazing for salad dressings. Somebody on our team who shares oils up in Spokane worked with a bar up there, and they were using oils in their drinks, and their special
Oh.
mixed drinks like clove and I don't remember what else, but really, so that's pretty fun too. I don't drink though. So JT says that I should share my recipes in a cookbook. I know.
Well,
Mike's
listen,
been slowly trying to write down recipes for
kind
me.
of. That ended up. I haven't done that lately, but if you go on our website, we do have some recipes on there at northandsouth.com. Because once upon a time, we were trying to compile all these, and then we sort of lost steam.
It's hard.
I know
It's
it is
really
hard, to do,
hard.
and it takes.
We started taking pictures of the food, and you're just like, man, and then you want to write out. It's hard. Respect to all those people who put those recipes
Yeah,
and write
so
for all this.
You can go to the website. if you
Oh,
wanna
Miss
see what
Tuesday
we've
said
got.
I used doTERRA wild orange when I baked orange cranberry muffins.
Oh, that's probably
Yum.
good.
I mean, obviously, a lot of these oils have their cold press. Like the citrus oils are cold pressed. I think citrus in particular is harmed by heat, but the medicinal benefits of citrus. But a lot of these oils are distilled, and that's heat and pressure.
Right.
So probably they're going to be fine.
right.
I think more the issue is that they'll evaporate if you put it in and then you're simmering.
You'll
The
lose some
oils
of the
will
taste.
evaporate out of that soup, and so you want to wait till the end for that reason.
Unless you actually want it to do that, which some you might. So I guess if you put something in there like in a soup and it's too strong, if you just let that simmer a little longer,
That's true.
that will
That's
probably
a good experiment.
the taste will probably go down a little bit.
Or you just make your family eat it. In the case of it actually wasn't soup that I added basil to. It was tomato sauce, a marinara, which I usually add fresh basil to. So I just put a drop of basil in it, and it was like woo. But I still made you guys eat it. We just ate basil pasta.
Yeah,
what
that's
it tastes
fine.
like. And you would think that would be good because pesto is so good. But I think the secret to pesto is actually the nuts, the oil, and the cheese.
Oh.
Because you can make pesto out of spinach and it tastes almost the same. I've done
But
it.
not quite the same.
No, and you can make a sage.
Don't try
pesto,
making that healthy. Megan.
You can make a kale pesto if you wanted, but so anyways.
We don't need kale around
So
here.
now I can probably move this table, right?
No, it's fine. We'll just
It's like right next to my nose.
we push it back. Okay, so that's all about cooking with
Oh,
essential
mark the
oils.
wall.
If you have questions,
Yeah, are there
you
any
can ask your-
questions?
Or I think if you have recipes to share, maybe you found one online that works. That's lovely for you.
Or the way you're already using them, like in your muffins, or
Yeah, you could leave a comment below for people watching this, and they'll see that because everyone likes some good suggestions, right? So what we should probably do now is our giveaway section
or giveaway.
of our live stream here. And what we decided we were going to do was we have 3 oils. These 3, right?
These 3.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, this one. Okay. So, Megan,
Yes.
you're the one who always comes up with the questions, right? Like at the time, we don't ever prepare ahead of time for this. So we come up with it as we're going
Yes.
because we aren't good at preparing. We just do it.
Yes.
So here we are, just doing it.
And I guess anybody can win these, right?
Are we back to anybody can,
Yes.
even if you've won before?
Yes. Okay. How about we do the first 2 if you haven't won before, and the third one, anybody.
Okay, so the first 2 questions, only those who have not won yet can win.
Yeah.
And can answer. So don't even answer, okay? You can be yelling at the screen if you want to, but you can't actually type your answer into the chat thing here.
Yes. Okay.
And we'll hear you if you yell.
This is a pretty easy one, but just for a general rule of thumb when starting to flavor your food with essential oils, how many drops of oil should you use for 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried spice? That is too easy. Yeah, 1 drop. Miss Tuesday got it.
Whoa, Miss Tuesday, right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody. Wow.
Yeah, that was really easy.
That was easy.
Like, that's like, I just walked everybody right into the answer.
That was like a real easy pitch, on the baseball. Okay, so what did Miss Tuesday win then, Megan? Which one? Should you do?
Yeah, lime oil.
All right. Speaking of,
Yummy lime oil. I should have asked a citrus question for that one, huh?
you get a bottle of lime oil, Miss Tuesday. You need to send us your address.
She's over in, was it Switzerland?
I don't remember, but just send us your address. Go.
Do you really not want us to send it to you over there?
Oh.
She said pass it on to someone in the USA.
Okay, well, who was our second person? Because I'm guessing that Wendy,
Wendy
in
in
Ohio,
Ohio.
might live on stateside. What do you think? Oh, Miss Tuesday, you're being really nice. Okay, we're going to
Wendy.
go second runner-up. Wendy in Ohio, you just got, well, this feels like The Price is Right for some reason. I think because Bob Barker recently died and, he's on my mind. Okay, it's true. It is expensive
He's
to send
always
stuff
on my mind.
overseas. So Wendy in Ohio, send us your address to Contact North or South and tell us which oil you want because we'll forget. We're not good at remembering these things.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I underlined these for
Some reason. Okay. Name one thing I made at my first essential oils class with to eat.
to eat, not to drink.
Anything.
Oh, eat or drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, you can't eat soap. Chip dip. Savannah!
Oh.
Oh, Savannah.
Okay.
You win a bottle of peppermint essential oil.
We know Savannah. She lives close to us, actually.
So you're gonna have to come.
We're
pick
not
it up.
shipping it to you. You got to come get it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring it to you.
Good job, Savannah.
All right. Sweet. A
Yeah. What else?
local one.
Lavender lemonade. Yep, that's true. Terry said 1 drop. Yes. Yes.
Terry, maybe that came through late somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe Terry's got slow internet today.
Yeah. Okay. So for
let's-
our final question of the day, I gotta find something hard.
Yeah, find something difficult. Do some research here.
Well, I could ask about that. I don't know if that's very hard though. This is a pretty straightforward topic. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is the final one for anybody in anybody in the world who's on this.
We're opening this up to the whole world right now. All of you in the world. and you're going to get a bottle of cinnamon bark. It's literally bark in here. It's actually not true. That's just where the cinnamon comes from. Okay, do you know what you're going to ask? Are you still thinking about it?
I'm still thinking about it.
Look.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's not hard though. None of the questions are hard. How many drops of cassia do you use in relation to how many drops of cinnamon? Give me a ratio. I want to like number,
Whoa.
colon, number.
That seems hard to me.
The first one is cassia. The second one is cinnamon.
It's got to be 2 numbers.
Debbie got it. 3
Debbie, 3 to 1. 3 to 1 odds. That's not bad.
Yeah, we said that 1 drop of cassia is like 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 drop of cinnamon is like a tablespoon. Or do I have that backwards?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was because you had to do some math, because 1 teaspoon is 3 tablespoons. So 3 to 1.
No, 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons.
Yeah, okay. I went to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, so I'm very tired.
Okay, Debbie, you got the bottle of cinnamon bark. So again, send us your address, contact Norpin South. Tell us what you want, and we'll ship it to you. Awesome.
All right, guys.
Okay. So that's the end of that. We're gonna have one more August class on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. You should come. And we will be. We may go over. I don't know if we'll go over this again. We might do something
We
different.
should do like an essential oil party.
But we're gonna do, and maybe we'll do some more giveaways, like more than usual.
Throughout or something. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna actually have to plan for that one, maybe. I think it's possibly we will.
I don't know. We're building a fireplace this
Whoa.
week. You see that? We bought an antique arts and crafts fireplace mantle on Friday. And that's what we're going to be doing this week. But we have to go to the dentist pretty soon, don't we?
Do we?
Yeah, I think I saw that on my
Oh.
calendar.
Do we go to the dentist
in the moment?
Oh, maybe. Okay, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any more questions. Wait a minute. Grandma D said, do cinnamon oil drop slow blood glucose rates as cinnamon powder is suggested to do?
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. Better than your cinnamon powder will do, because most of your cinnamon powder is cassia. It's the less potent and doesn't have all of the same chemical compounds as cinnamon. So yes, cinnamon oil.
We agree.
Yeah.
I think Terry's internet is slow this morning.
Terry's just got her answer in 1 to 3.
Okay, that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. Hope you have a good Monday. And yes, Roberta, we're gonna, as soon as we get part of this done over here that we're working on, we will post a video about it.
But it won't be a family vlog.
It's just gonna be renovations, because that's pretty much all we do.
Doing
We're either
now.
sitting here or we're over there working. Okay, that's it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See you on Wednesday.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.